Welcome to another video where I share my theories on Undertale, specifically two characters as shown on the screen, Sans and Papyrus. Now a lot of things I've noticed that people did not point out, so I wanna point out some things. So first of all, we got Sans. It's like a very popular character as we all know him, Sans the skeleton, with his magic powers and stuff, lazy, and he makes jokes and stuff. He's just very silly and stuff, just regular Sans. But I've noticed some things. When he gets killed, there is blood coming out of him, which most people have noticed, most people have pointed out. If he's a skeleton, plus no other monster in the underground bleeds, so out of everyone, why does Sans bleed? Now everyone else was talking about the blood, but I've noticed more than that to it. Quite a few times we have seen Sans actually wink, which is only possible for things with skin and flesh, like bones can just stretch out to wink, like bones don't have eyelids, so how does Sans wink? How does that make any sense at all? And the other thing about him is, I've noticed all the Undertale characters, every other character, all the characters are just wearing regular stuff, just clothes and stuff. But Sans, out of everyone who lives in Snowdin, there are more monsters that live there in the snow, but they seem to be not at all affected by its cold, except for Sans. He is the only one who wears a jacket. That means he must be affected by the cold. But he's a skeleton. How would he be affected by the cold? Why would he be affected if even the ones with flesh aren't affected? Like Muffet, it's a spider, but they don't get affected. And Asgore, well, I guess he's a king. And Undine, she's a fish, but she doesn't get affected by the cold. And I don't think armor, the armor she wears or Papyrus wears, I don't think they count as any cold protection stuff. I don't think they can protect anything from the cold. So what's the mystery behind him? So we know that he bleeds, he has blood, then he can wink even though he's a skeleton, and he has cold nerves, he can feel cold temperatures. He gets affected by them. So what's the deal with him? The only thing that seemed very logical to me is he is not a full skeleton. All the monsters in the underground are monsters, but none of them are fully what they are. Undine is not exactly a fish, it's like a humanoid fish. And then Asgore is a goat, a cow, whatever. But he's also very humanoid. And Flowey, well, Flowey has a different story. We don't talk about him. But just for Sans, he's a skeleton. But why does he have all these features? So that led me to believe one thing, that he is not fully a skeleton. He's like a zombie kind of thing. So zombies have flesh falling off of them. I think Sans has some kind of organ system, or nerves and stuff, blood and everything inside him. That jacket he's wearing and those pants he's wearing, they are hiding his actual organs and stuff. I think he has a heart and liver and lungs and everything. That's the most logical thing to me. Otherwise, I don't get why would he bleed. Why would he be able to wink? I think his skull is actually covered in a thin layer of flesh, like skin. I think his entire body is covered in a thin layer of skin, which is not very visible to us. But I think he's covered in white skin, which actually explains a lot. He feels cold because he has these nerves and muscles and everything. He bleeds because he has organs and blood inside him. And then he can wink because he has skin on his skull. Next up on the list, we have Papyrus, his brother, the most hyperactive one. Now, unlike Sans is just very lazy, he makes jokes and stuff, but Papyrus is kinda serious about stuff. Not that he's not goofy, but he takes things more seriously, which Sans also takes things seriously. It's complicated. Sans is actually smarter than everyone else because he knows how to manipulate us. Like, he tricks us to think we're dumb, like he's dumb or something. Like, he makes jokes, he's lazy and stuff. He just wants us to believe all this. But when it comes to the fight, he shows who he really is, like all his powers and strength and everything. Coming to Papyrus, now the things that confuse me is like, why is he so weak out of everyone? He has barely any attacks. Like, his special attack is to turn the heart blue, like get it stuck on a wall or something, like gravity activated or something. Like, that's his special power. But I don't really think that's the case. That is not his special power. I think he is forbidden from using his powers. In the pacifist run, if we, like, when Flowey kidnaps everyone and we see everyone getting tied up, everyone else is tied up with 2 vines, except for Papyrus. He is tied up with 4 vines instead. Another thing is, like Toriel at the first, she actually doesn't mean to kill us. She just wants us to prove her that we are worthy enough to leave the ruins to the actual city of the monsters. But she can actually accidentally kill us. There are chances that she will kill us accidentally, even though she doesn't want to. But Papyrus, on the other hand, he has complete control over his magic. Like, when we're at the last health, like 1 health left, suddenly we're just kidnapped and then put into his garage, and then when we exit it, we can just do the fight all over again. Like, at the last moment, he can just stop his magic suddenly. That preciseness isn't shown in any other monster in the underground. Now, the theory is Papyrus is actually really, really strong, or maybe as strong as Sans, but Sans seems to be a bit holding back and kind of lazy and stuff. On the other hand, Papyrus is very, very hyperactive, so I think he's forbidden from using his actual strength. Like, Sans can use Gaster Blastus and stuff because he can control his powers. But Papyrus might just get a bit over hyper and just destroy everything without even knowing it. Sure, he has a lot of control over his magic, but who knows? Maybe he'll just destroy everything. That's what everyone's afraid of. So he is actually forbidden from using his actual powers. But he is really powerful. More powerful than anyone, I think. Okay, maybe not that powerful, but he's still more powerful than we see in Undertale. So that's my theory on Undertale. Sans can bleed, Sans can feel cold, and Sans can blink because he's not fully a skeleton. He's a monster he is also made up of flesh and stuff and blood. And Papyrus, he is just holding back on his powers. But if he does use all his powers, then he will be quite a lot stronger than we can imagine. Well, that's my theory for today. I'll see you all next time. Goodbye.